PM Bristannia calls for urgent police report amid allegations of police involvement in Joseph Budna's kidnapping case. The Prime Minister also addresses the troubling case of Belizean man Sebastian Pope, seized and convicted in Guatemala. Tragedy in San Pedro, 2-year-old Khalil Na dies after medical journey. His mother questions the health system. And the Belize Investment Summit gets underway in La Isla Bonita. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Thursday, September 4th, 2025.
The new designs for Belize's new banknotes have been revealed. But why are only two national figures featured on the banknotes? The individuals honored on our new banknotes have received Belize's highest distinction, the Order of the National Hero. As of January 2025, only two persons have been awarded this title. The Right Honorable George Cadle Price, regarded as the father of the nation, who was the first Prime Minister of Belize and renowned leader in our road to independence, and the Honorable Philip Stanley Wilberforce Golson, one of the longest-serving members of the House of Representatives, known for his unwavering stance on protecting and preserving Belize. By featuring these heroes, we honor their invaluable contributions to the development of our nation. New look, same value, heroes' legacy. Learn more at www.centralbank.org.bz. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
Celebrate Belize's 44th independence anniversary with us. Join us this September as Belize shines brighter than ever. Be part of the excitement and showcase your business to thousands of viewers during our live coverage of these spectacular events. September 19th, Children's Rally. September 13th, Carousel Carnival. September 20th, Flag Raising Ceremony. And September 21st, the Citizens Parade.
Everybody jump and wave. Show me 1,000 and just show me 1,000 and
Maximize your visibility. All events will be broadcast live on Channel 53 of Centaur Cable Network, available on the Express Plus app and streamed across our popular social media platforms, including CTV3 News, Fiesta FM Radio, and Despierta Belize. Get more value for your advertising dollar, reach a wider audience, and be part of Belize's most celebrated month. Contact us today at 670-9177 for more information.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. The case of Joseph Budna, who was kidnapped in Orange Walk Town back in August and later rearrested in Guatemala, continues to draw national attention, especially amid growing allegations of police involvement. From the onset, Budna claimed that elements of the Belize Police Department were behind his abduction and subsequent handover to Guatemalan authorities. Those allegations gained traction this week after local media released surveillance footage that many observers say appeared to show evidence of police participation. Speaking on the matter today, Prime Minister John Bristannia confirmed that he has formally requested an urgent report from the Minister of Police, Honorable Karim Musa. The Prime Minister said he will await the outcome of that report before determining next steps, noting that possible actions could include the launch of an independent investigation. PM Briceño also reiterated his position that his government had nothing to do with Budna's alleged kidnapping, emphasizing that the administration does not condone or participate in illegal abductions.
Well, that allegation has been done from the very start. Whatever I said from earlier that I'm waiting for the police report. This morning I called Minister Musa, who is responsible as the Minister of Home Affairs, and I told him that I want that report today or by tomorrow at the very latest. Once I get that report, I will see what is it that they present, and then they will have to decide what is the next step, whether we need to have an independent investigation or what it is. But please allow me to get that before I can be able to comment further.
Would you understand that Cabinet discussed this matter yesterday? Tuesday, wouldn't you have gotten a brief then?
I don't know where you get that information because the Cabinet that I managed did not have, we had no discussions about Budna on Tuesday. So somebody give you wrong information.
Have you seen the video that was leaked showing that all signs police were involved?
I have not had a chance to see the video. I've been here busy since yesterday. But again, let me repeat. I will get the report. I have told the minister I want that report today or tomorrow at the very latest. Once I get that report, then we could take the next step forward. And I'm telling you right now, if there's a need to name an independent investigation, I will do it. My government will do it. I repeat once again, this was not sanctioned by the government of Belize. We have absolutely nothing to do with that.
In response to media requests for the release of the full surveillance footage, the Prime Minister urged patience, stressing that the matter remains under investigation.
Allegations that Budna has made have checked out. If it turns out that the police is involved, he called Karim, which we assume is Minister Musa, and he also called the Compul. Would head roles then?
Well, I think we're jumping ahead of of ourselves. Allow me to get the report, and once we get the report, then we will take it a step there. I will tell you that if there's a need to have an investigation, an independent investigation, we are going to have it.
What about releasing the video to the public for transparency?
Which video? I haven't seen any video.
Footage from the areas or
But
the police station.
again, the report from the police will be able to throw light to all of that.
We are formally requesting the release of all those surveillance footages.
How can you do that if they're doing an investigation?
For transparency.
Yeah, but hold on, relax. We need to get that report. Okay? Can we ask another question if we have any?
The political landscape in Belize is currently rocked by urgent calls for accountability following the alleged abduction of Belizean citizen Joseph Budna. A letter addressed to Prime Minister John Briceño from the United Democratic Party UDP Parliamentarian Caucus expressed deep concern over the incident. In the letter, UDP parliamentarians highlight their grave alarm over the recent video-recorded abduction reportedly carried out with apparent knowledge and involvement of agents from the Belizean state. The caucus describes the incident as one of the gravest threats to the country's constitutionally guaranteed rights and freedoms, warning that it represents a blatant violation of the rule of law and the separation of powers. The letter emphasizes that such actions undermine the integrity of Belize's justice system, especially when they involve persons wanted in foreign nations. The caucus condemns the incident as a potential breach of national sovereignty, noting that a Belizean citizen was allegedly beaten and forcibly taken across the border under questionable circumstances. They express concern that if state agents are indeed complicit, it could signal a dangerous erosion of citizens' safety and trust in government institutions. The letter calls for immediate action, including an independent investigation into the matter, especially given the alleged involvement of the Belize Police Department The prompt release of surveillance videos reportedly captured by government and quasi-government entities to ensure transparency and the recusal of the Minister of Home Affairs and the Commissioner of Police from all investigative processes to prevent interference given their direct ties to the entities under scrutiny. At the heels of the controversial case surrounding Joseph Budna, Prime Minister John Bressane today also spoke on the troubling case of Sebastian Pope, a Belizean man who was reportedly seized by a Guatemalan mob in 2023 and later convicted of homicide. Speaking on the matter, Prime Minister John Bressane acknowledged that Pope's case only recently came to light to his government, and action has since been initiated to look into the matter. PM Bressane further stressed that his administration does not condone illegal abductions across the border, but added that if a Belizean commits a crime abroad, the government cannot simply ignore that reality.
Obviously, that just came to light to us. Nobody came to us to make any kind of report to us that this happened. I think it was in 2022, 2023, and we could not take action if we did not know about it. So now that it has come to us, I think the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I think, should have already taken steps. I think the minister has said so, and writing a diplomatic note. But it seems also that this man has been accused of murdering somebody in Guatemala. So we do not condone anybody coming into our country and abduct people illegally. But also, if you committed a crime elsewhere, I think we can't turn our heads to that.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Honorable Francis Fonseca also recently spoke on the matter, describing the case as very tragic and confirmed that Belize is actively exploring legal and diplomatic options, including an appeal and possible repatriation. Tonight, there is a tragic story coming out of San Pedro town as 2-year-old baby boy lost his life on Wednesday. 2-year-old Khalil Na died yesterday as his mother rushed to get him to Belize City for medical help after the baby was sick for several days and being treated by the San Pedro Polyclinic. According to his mother, baby Khalil first began feeling sick on Saturday with fever and vomiting. Virgin Garcia says she did what mothers do. She comforted him at home and tried Tylenol to ease his symptoms. But by Monday, his condition worsened. She rushed him to the San Pedro Polyclinic where he was given medication for vomiting and fever. She says that no one explained what might be wrong. On Tuesday, things got worse. Khalil was taken to another clinic in northern San Pedro and given an injection, but Garcia said there was no improvement. Later that day, he was admitted again to the polyclinic, this time for dehydration.
Monday when I decided to care him, I took him Monday to the clinic. In fact, I took him and next daughter. Two of them were sick with the same thing. I told the doctor I'm my baby. Two of them got fever, cough and vomiting. He just did a slight checkup and then he just gave him medications for vomiting and Tylenol for the two of them. And then that was it. He never mentioned what he might have or what he had. So I went home. My baby was still good Monday. He went to sleep happy. And that day we made the play. When he got sleep, he started feeling bad that night. Tuesday morning, he got up bad already. He started to carry him to the clinic up north, to Belize Associates, if I'm not mistaken. They did check him and Alan gave him was an injection for vomiting. So I went back home when 8 o'clock reaches, it might be really get worse. I decided to go back to polyclinic for upon the emergency section. When I reach, and he be dehydrated, so then me I put his drips. So when they decide to put his drips, then me can find his vein. They pitch my baby over and over, like for 2 hours almost. The pinchy to try to find her vein. And I couldn't see them in my baby with the pump pain. The thing is that at last the drips they did it rectal because I never end up the fine vein. So they put it in a hilly buttocks. After that, he took like an hour with the drips. After that, all they did was just give him oral and left him under observation. Next day, next doctor grabbed a case. They started again with the pinching. We find the veins. They never find it. Maybe a baby don't look more weak. I even tell the doctor my baby did sleep too much. That's not normal. And she replied that that's normal on our baby because that's how they get their strength back when they're sick. So I left it so. I'm like, I'm trusting on their work. They know more. They did him X-ray, then do him blood tests. To what they told me everything was good. They sent me to Belize for a pediatrician checkup.
Garcia says that after hours, doctors eventually referred Khalil to the Carl Houston Memorial Hospital, KHMH, in Belize City, but under emergency grounds. With no airlift available, Garcia borrowed money, booked a flight that wouldn't leave until evening, and instead boarded a water taxi. It was there between San Pedro and Key Cocker that her worst fears came true. Khalil collapsed during the journey. Strangers tried to help, but it was too late.
We gone, no, when we gone and tell me we didn't explain until 5. I tell her I can't wait. I can't wait. So we gone to the express. And we grabbed the 4:30 boat. When we done made it touch Key Cocker, my baby just gone. My baby just gone. People may try help out. But never in love. My baby gone. When we reached the Key Cocker, they make us some paramedics the wait. The care at the clinic. They had him a ward. They try wake him up. They try make him revive. They just came out and tell me that I can't do nothing else. I just feel like if they know my baby me bad, it would be so hard to send me from early morning. They had here from Tuesday night from 9 o'clock. I spent the whole night with here. The whole day of freaking Wednesday because like how I tell you, they never let me after 3. If they may see my baby not respond good, it would be so hard to tell me I can come to Belize earlier and wait last minute to tell me.
As she grieves the death of her youngest child, Garcia is questioning the system which she says failed baby Khalil.
He was just 2, he just completed 2. My baby don't mean a healthy baby. I don't understand how from one day to another he got to that situation. And I remember they tell the doctor more than once my baby sleep too much. That's not correct. And she would always reply that he normal, make he sleep because he weak. But I know my baby.
He wasn't a sickly child.
No. Even when he was sick with fever or whatever, he would always be running, jumping, or playing while he made it asleep. His eyes got swollen. I even tell the doctor about that, and she replied that it might be because he did sleep too much.
Tonight, San Pedro has lost one of its youngest, and a mother is left wondering whether timely intervention could have saved her little boy. Anyone would like to assist Khalil's family can make donations to Atlantic Bank, account name Darin Genesina, account number 211705467. Today, Prime Minister John Briceño lamented the tragic death of baby Khalil Na and acknowledged the urgent gaps in healthcare services on the island. He expressed hope that the new hospital currently under construction in San Pedro will help prevent similar cases in the future. PM Briceño noted that the facility is expected to address some of the shortfalls that families like Garcias's now face.
Well, my heart goes out to the family, without a doubt. But if you were to remember, we're building a hospital, and we're hoping that hospital, hopefully sometime next year. I've not gone lately to check. Maybe I should go on between today and tomorrow to see how far the construction is. But once we have that hospital, then we'll be able, God willing, to prevent those tragedies that my heart goes to this family, and I can't imagine having to when my children were small or my granddaughter. So yes, we have to do better, and that is why we're building a hospital in San Pedro.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness, MOHW, has also issued a statement following the death of 2-year-old Khalil Na, who passed away on Wednesday. According to the release, Khalil was first taken to the San Pedro Polyclinic on September 1st with symptoms of vomiting and fever. According to the ministry, the following day, he was admitted for treatment of an acute respiratory infection and dehydration. The ministry says that after showing signs of improvement, his parents were advised to seek specialist care for further management. The ministry said it is reviewing the circumstances surrounding the care provided at the San Pedro Polyclinic and the chain of events that led to the child's death. Coming up next, Caribbean sugar industry gains momentum with $20 million Belize refinery to boost regional food security and economic growth. Stay tuned.
It's here once again. Bigger and better. Fiesta FM 21st anniversary. Come and celebrate with us this September 6th, one of the biggest events of the year, Fiesta FM 21st anniversary.
It's all happening at Central Park at 7 p.m. There will be lots of giveaways and entertainment to the next level.
Come and dance the night away with the legendary, all the way from Dangriga, Maymay Martinez. Alongside the mighty Super Furia Band. And on the wheels of steels, all the way from Chetumal, Quintana Roo, Mexico, Felipe Lopez, DJ Diablio.
Arriba, 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 las manos arriba, arriba, las manos arriba, arriba, arriba. Aquí está el Diablillo y este es un desastre. Y al que no le gusta.
So you don't want to miss this one-of-a-kind event. It's going to be big. It's going to be great. It's Fiesta FM 21st anniversary. See you there.
In a strategic move poised to reshape the Caribbean's sugar landscape, Sucro Limited and Santander Sugar Limited have announced the formation of Caribbean Sugar Refinery Limited, CSR, an operational joint venture aimed at boosting regional refining capacity. The partnership unveiled today signals a significant step towards enhancing food security fostering economic growth and creating jobs across the Caribbean. CSR plans to inject $20 million into constructing a state-of-the-art sugar refinery within the Santander Sugar Limited mill complex in Valley of Peace, Cayo Belize. The project envisions initial refining operations beginning in 2026 with a focus on serving the Caribbean community CARICOM market. The refinery aims to fulfill over 3/4 of CARICOM refined sugar demand, with ambitions to expand operations into Trinidad and Tobago, potentially covering up to 150% of regional needs and opening avenues for exports to North America and Europe. The development has garnered strong support from the Belizean government, which has signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with CSR.
And why is it important? Well, it's important simply because then all of our sugar, or most of our sugar, then can be refined. So we add value, and then we sell it into CARICOM, where we get a better price. And how do our farmers benefit? Well, they will not be benefit directly from the sale from the refined sugar, but we don't have to pay shipping to move the raw sugar to other markets. It's just going to be shipped right here from say Orange Walk to the Cayo district. So because of those charges, of less charges of transportation and so forth, I think they are telling me, the people in Santander, that our farmers can be able to expect maybe as much as $3 more per ton.
What is the government offering by way of incentives?
Well, the usual what we do, the development concessions include the tax breaks from importation of the necessary equipment and so forth. One critical part to it is that we have to have a discussion with BL, because Santander has signed an agreement with BL to provide electricity. And if they do not meet the amount of electricity that they have to provide, they can be penalized. With this new project, they are going to use a small portion, not the full, but some of the energy that's being sold to the grid to be able to power this refinery. And so that said, then we have to talk to BL to see if they can remove that clause to penalize them, because this project is very important for us as a country.
According to PM Briceño, BSI ASR is also supportive of the investment.
We'll have what I spoke with them, and they want to participate. They are saying that they're going to partner with them in the sense that they will use their marketing expertise to be able to sell the refined sugar into the Caribbean. They're supportive of this investment.
SSL will oversee the refinery's operations, including logistics, procurement, and integration with local sugar producers. Founded in 2014, Sucro is a leading sugar refiner and distributor with a focus on underserved markets in North America and the Caribbean. The company has established multiple refineries and emphasizes process innovation and supply chain efficiency. As for Santander Sugar Limited, it is a prominent Belizean sugar miller and exporter. SSL has modernized agricultural practices and invested in a downstream infrastructure to support regional growth and sustainability. San Pedro is playing host this week to the Belize Investment Summit, a high-level gathering designed to position Belize as a premier destination for business and investment. The event has drawn local and international investors, government officials, and private sector leaders to explore opportunities across tourism, agriculture, energy, technology, and the blue and green economies. Prime Minister John Briceño, who delivered the keynote address at the event's opening, underscored the importance of the summit, calling it one of the most significant events for Belize. He emphasized that the government is committed to creating an environment where investors feel confident to bring their capital ideas and innovations.
They come for a number of reasons. The wealth of information that they get, networking with different partners, both private sector, public sector, the ability to meet even also with ministers and officials within government to talk about their projects. I have a long list of meetings between today and tomorrow, and because of that personalized touch, we believe that it has been very, very successful. And as you say, when you look at the results, we have seen, hundreds of millions of dollars have been invested in Belize over the past 4 years, and a lot of it is attributed to events like this.
The summit includes panel discussions, presentations, and networking sessions where participants can engage with policymakers and entrepreneurs. Focus areas range from renewable energy and infrastructure development to digital innovation and sustainable industries.
That is why you see more and more people coming. Wherever you go, you start to talk to people, and they see how we are working in trying to make business to make business in Belize easier, because there's still a lot of hurdles, there's still a lot of bureaucracy that we need to be able to see how we can streamline it. That is why we're pushing our e-governance agenda, from tax services to licensing and so forth. That will make it so much easier to do business in Belize. You see more and more people are expressing more interest. And as I pointed out today, and whenever I talk to investors abroad, I said, don't think Belize, think the region. We connect to Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. That's a market of about 200 million consumers. And then when they see that, you see their eyes open up and they light up and say, okay, probably Belize is a place to come and do business.
The Belize Investment Summit continues over the next 2 days with announcements of new ventures and agreements expected before it closes. One of the major opportunities spotlighted at the Belize Investment Summit 2025 is the planned expansion of the Port of Belize, a project that Prime Minister John Briceño says could transform the country's economic future.
And so we need to modernize it. And so what we've been doing since then, we made a study, took it to cabinet. Everything is decided by the cabinet. I made up a paper to present a paper to cabinet as to what position do we want to do, only a container port, only a cruise port, or both of them. And the cabinet said in their wisdom that we need to do both. And so now we come up to an estimate. It is estimated around 140 million US dollars. And then after that, we work on a master plan that was presented to cabinet. Cabinet has accepted the master plan. We started to meet with potential investors like SSA Marine from BlackRock. The company is owned by BlackRock in the United States. We have Global Ports Holding from Turkey. Both of these companies have been building ports not only in the U.S. but also in the region and internationally. So these are bona fide investors that will come in. We've been talking to, we're trying to prepare also to start to do the dredging. And so this time around, what we've decided to do is the excess material that we can't use, we're going to build these, what they call mangrove forests, pretty much about 400 acres of, it's not going to be one block of 400, but small islands that will cover about 400 acres, and to plant mangroves in it. It has been done. I think it is in Paraguay, in South America, successfully. So we want to replicate that, and that will be able to address that issue of what you're going to do with all of that excess material. It is an exciting project. And know that when we met with Scheinbaum and Arevalo from Guatemala, our discussions, as I pointed out to them, Belize alone can't build Tren Maya. It's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars to build it through Belize. But it has to be a regional consortium of private sector and public sector to be able to come together. Don't get excited. We have to do the studies yet. IDB, I just spoke with Thomas from the IDB, and he said they are prepared to be able to help to finance the study, to be able to see how best to position the Tren Maya. And in our discussion there, then I realized that, if we were to do that, the best place for the Tren Maya to make its main hub would be at the Port of Belize, because then we can move containers to Mexico and also to Guatemala, because both of them they need that extra service that they don't have.
The project, still in its early stages of discussion, aims to modernize port infrastructure, improve cargo handling capacity, and create new logistics facilities that could make Belize a competitive hub for shipping routes.
It's a long-term project, it's a visionary project, and again, one of our biggest problems in Belize, we like things small. We have to think big. We're not just 430,000. We are a market that have access to 200 million consumers. And whenever I pitch to investors abroad and I tell them, listen, don't think Belize. If you want to invest in energy in Belize, don't think about energy for Belize. Connecting to the Central American grid. You know, we can sell energy into that grid. Right now, Guatemala has put a bid for 1 billion megawatts of energy. We could produce it here and sell it into that grid. Mexico that have problems in meeting their demand, we could then not only buy from them, but be able to sell. So we need to think big and see how we can get these things done. When you look at what Adam Stewart said from Sandals, you know, in his presentation just now, he made the point that here you have Sandals now. It's relatively small internationally in the world, in Mexico, United States and so forth. 20,000 employers is still big, but they have managed to, what is it said, about 80% of Americans know about Sandals. That's thinking big, and that's what we have to do.
As the investment summit continues, the Port of Belize expansion remains one of the most talked about projects, symbolizing Belize's push to become more connected and competitive in the region. As mentioned in yesterday's newscast, Belize's Governor General de Froila Zalam has officially authorized a writ of referendum, paving the way for residents of Keycaulker Village to voice their opinions on establishing a regulated, responsible, and taxed legal cannabis sector. A portion of the revenue generated from this industry would be allocated directly to benefit the local community. The journey to this point began in May when a petition signed by at least 25% of registered voters in Keycaulker was presented to the Governor General, fulfilling the legal requirements outlined in Belize's Referendum Act. By July, the Chief Elections Officer verified the authenticity of these signatures, confirming the legitimacy of the petition. Now, the upcoming referendum scheduled for October 8, 2025 marks a critical milestone for the island's future. While Cabinet has been informed about the writ of referendum, Minister of Foreign Affairs Francis Fonseca says the people of Keycaulker will have the last say, and the outcome could lead to new legislation that might transform the local economy, foster job creation, and boost revenue streams, all while sparking discussions around regulation, public health, and community well-being.
The Governor General has issued a writ of referendum for referendum to be held in Keycaulker regarding marijuana legalization for the island. Can I get your thoughts on that process?
Well, it's a process for to the people of Keycaulker. They will have to make a determination. They thought it was an important issue for their community. So, you know, I think yesterday the minister responsible for elections briefed Cabinet that the process is going to move forward. We have to allocate the funds for a referendum. So that is moving forward, and we'll have an opportunity to hear directly from the people of Keycaulker on that issue.
So this issue has national implications that does extend beyond Keycaulker, given the nature of existing legislation regarding marijuana. Can I just get your thoughts on the implications?
Yeah, I think, as you know, the Ministry of New Growth Industries has been working on this issue. It's something we've talked about in our previous term of office, of advancing. I think we have to look at it again. So, I don't think we're in a position yet to say definitively what our position will be. But I think the outcome of the referendum in Keycaulker will help to guide that process moving forward. So we're all looking at that process and to see what the outcome will be.
The results of the vote, whether in favor or against, must be officially certified by the following day. As the countdown to the referendum begins, the Elections and Boundaries Department is mobilizing its team to oversee the process. On September 1st, a notice confirmed the appointment of 2 key officials responsible for managing the vote within the Belize Rural South Electoral Division on Referendum Day. Anthony Mai, Chief Environmental Officer at the Department of the Environment, has been appointed as the returning officer. Based in Belmopan and working under the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change, and Solid Waste Management, Mai will coordinate the election efforts from the capital. Assisting him is Rigoberto Quintana, Fisheries Administrator at the Fisheries Department, representing the Ministry of Blue Economy and Marine Conservation in Belize City, who will serve as election clerk. Going a step further when it comes to the upcoming referendum in Key-Caulker, scheduled for October 8, the authorization has brought to light weaknesses in the Referendum Act. According to Prime Minister John Briceño, amendments will be made to the Act to correct those flaws.
But what is important though, what that has shown us that there is some weaknesses in the Referendum Act, that it is allowing now even because of the definition of how to hold a referendum is not properly defined by geographic area, like a district, or by constituency area. It's not been defined. So now here we have a village, in effect, saying that they want to have a referendum, and legally we could not have stopped it. So we are going to the National Assembly next week to make some amendments to ensure that those things can't happen, because then, you know, any village could call for a referendum for whatever it is that they want. And we want to make sure that we don't do that, one. But secondly, also that to ensure that if they want to have a referendum, it has to be something specifically just for them that does not have national implications. For instance, if Key-Caulker would want to have a referendum to limit the number of golf carts, it is something that should be done. It should be allowed. But when you issue of something like cannabis, it's something that has national implications. So then we need to be able to define those nuances as to when you could have a referendum, a national or just a local referendum.
And here is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
It is truly a proud and historic moment for us here in San Ignacio. It gives me great joy to welcome you all to the official opening of the very first wooden basketball court in our community.
The cost of the project in completion was about $200,000. Honorable Mala was willing to assist us with this project. This is a huge, huge investment for us.
There can be serious development through sports, especially if the right foundation, having the right facilities are in place. Then the programs follow. We can't put the carriage front of the house by having the programs, but we only have outdoor facilities. Belize rain 6 months out of the year, and having outdoor facilities is just not enough.
Our focus is going to be on education, because that's a part of using sports as a vehicle to get as many of our athletes to international schools to play football, basketball, volleyball, track, whatever it is. The other thing is health. 33% of our people are afflicted by diabetes, hypertension, or some ailment like that. And those things can be prevented. So we want to create again the facilities where people can go exercise, have fun.
The growing presence of U.S. military forces in the Caribbean has raised questions across the region about security, sovereignty, and stability. Prime Minister John Briceño was to the question about this matter. Based on preliminary facts, the PM today reaffirmed Belize's long-standing commitment to peace, stressing that his administration values regional harmony and cooperation over conflict. At the same time, Prime Minister acknowledged that the situation in the Caribbean cannot be separated from the growing threat posed by organized crime. Cartel activity, he noted, has become a persistent danger not just to Belize, but to many neighboring nations.
Are you concerned of the U.S. militarizing the Caribbean in a sense, and how will CARICOM address that?
Well, I can't speak for CARICOM, but of course we will be concerned. But at the same time, we're also very concerned about these narco traffickers. And we need to find ways so we can keep them where they are and not allow them to be able to come into countries like Belize and to create havoc. And as I've said from when I was given the privilege to be the Prime Minister of this country, I've always said one of my biggest concerns is narco trafficking and to see how we can keep them out of Belize as best as we possibly can. And we're spending millions of dollars trying to do that, and we are paying a heavy price for that. But I don't think that keeping our citizens safe has a price tag. And well, we've always said that the CARICOM, we have always said that Belize, the Caribbean, is supposed to be an area of peace and an area of free of nuclear weapons, and that continues to be our position.
The $250 million Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC grant to Belize has been officially reinstated after a period of uncertainty. A few weeks ago, the grant was placed on pause by the Trump administration, causing major concern among government officials and citizens alike. However, there is good news today as Belize has received confirmation that the project has been restored. But while the amount will basically remain the same, what is in question is the way the monies will be allocated, according to Minister of Foreign Affairs Francis Fonseca and Prime Minister John Briceño.
That's still under discussion, but based on the meetings that have been held this week, there should be very minimal change in the amount. Where there will be changes is in terms of how it is allocated in terms of energy, education, and certain projects that we have under each of those, headings. So the amount is going to stay relatively the same, 125 million US, I believe. But it will be allocated, in a different way.
Discuss. Basically what you're saying, they want to remove more from education to put it into energy, and also then from energy to move to look at not only in sustainable or renewable sources of energy, but also using fossil fuels. Obviously, that is the new government from the new American government. They have this emphasis on fossil fuels, so I think it's just reflecting that. We will do our very best to try to talk to them, to point out, to make the point that Belize is a country known for its natural beauty, its sustainable development policies, and that we want to move more into renewable sources of energy and try to control as best as we possibly can the expansion of fossil fuels.
The renewal of the project spells good news for Belize's education system and energy sector, which have been top priorities within the initiative since its inception. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, September 5th here on CTV3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.